Welcome everyone, we're about to do a 20-minute mat workout and it's part of our 20-minute series. This one today we're focusing on beginner mat. So this is the perfect workout for somebody who's brand new to Pilates mat or someone who is just getting back into it and wants to take things a little slower in the beginning. We're going to be focusing on some of the exercises included in our beginner mat repertoire, and I'm going to start seated to get our bodies warmed up. So what I'd like you to do is sit. You can sit with your legs folded. Some people have a hard time sitting really tall, so if you need to sit up on top of something, a cushion or a small platform or something, that might help so that you can sit with a nice tall spine and you don't feel like you're struggling to be in this position. From here, we're going to start just thinking about how we're going to breathe and breathing for our first part of the workout. So I'm going to start inhaling through the nose, and then I'm going to exhale like I'm blowing through a straw. And I want you to keep that breath pattern going and make it slow and deep. So inhale through the nose, and then exhale like you're blowing through a straw. That's going to do a lot of things that we'll talk about in another workout. But for now, just keep that in mind as you do all of the exercises. And this time, as you exhale, I want you to flex forward. So you're going to drop your head and then round your back forward. And then take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, stack your spine back up again. Let's do that again. So you want to start from the top, your head coming forward first, then let your shoulders come forward, and then your back will round completely over and then come back up. I want you to do that again, and as you do that, I want you to have the feeling of pulling back your abs as you stretch over. And that makes it a more active stretch, and you might find that you feel a little bit more of the stretch in the back. So flex over and draw the abs toward the spine, pulling your belly button in as you go forward and come up. From here, I want you to just take your hands behind you and just roll your shoulders back and then lift up. You know, it's like that morning stretch. You see it in commercials. Most people don't actually do it, but you know, they're stretching and enjoying the beginning of the day, and then come back and do that again. Take a big breath in and then exhale and come back. My dogs do something like this and take a big breath in. They don't look like they ever do anything on camera, but they do actually move. And now we're gonna do a little rotation. So what I want you to do is reach one hand to the opposite knee and just sit and turn and see what feels comfortable, and then go a little bit further to uncomfortable, and then do that to the other side. The whole time you should be sitting up nice and tall, and use your eyes. Now what we're gonna do is take your arms, like genie arms, and you're gonna do the same thing, but now without your arms helping you. And then come back to the center. And you're gonna look in the direction that you're going and back to center. And we're gonna inhale and back to center, and inhale and back to center. Now we're gonna move the spine in one more direction. You're gonna reach your arm up and just stretch over to the side and come up and down. And the other side, reach up and over, up and down. So when you go over to the side, I want you to think of lifting up and trying to go further over and come back. And let's do that again. Lifting up, reaching, keeping this hip anchored, but lifting up out of that hip and coming back. Now, we're gonna come down to the mat here. Oh, no, we're not. We're gonna bend and stretch the arms. So you're gonna pull back and reach forward right there. And just a couple more times, and reach, and reach. And now, instead of bending your elbows, you're gonna reach the arms long and then wrap them around, and then open them, and the other arms will wrap. And we're gonna do that again. Reach open and wrap, breathe in and exhale, and one more time. Open and close, just to get our upper bodies warmed up as well as the shoulder joint. And then do some shoulder rolls for me. So forward and up, back and down, and again, forward and up, back and down, and then just reverse that, back and up, forward and down, rolling through. One more time, big breath in, and then exhale down. Now, from here, we're gonna come down onto the floor and lay on your back. And what I want you to do is just think about what parts of your body are touching the mat here for a second. You want your head, the back of your head, to be resting on the mat. If you feel like your head is way tipped back, just put a cushion or a pillow under your head to prop it up a little bit so that you can really feel no tension in the neck and you have just the back of your head resting there. Then you want to feel the shoulders are open, and you're going to feel the middle of the back on the mat here. The lower back might not be touching, and that's actually good. You don't want to be pressing it down. So relax the hips so that your sacrum, the bone between your two glutes, is nice and heavy on the mat, but you got a little space between your lower back and the mat. What we're going to do from here is take your hands behind your head. You're going to tip your head forward, and you're going to flex up. So you're going to curl up. It's like a modified crunch that we would do in the gym, and then come back down. We want to start from the top. So you're going to tip your head forward, and then bring your head forward, and then slide your shoulders forward and your ribs toward your hips, and come back down. And that's going to be on an exhale. So you exhale, come forward, and inhale down. Now it's a little easier to pull with your arms, and we don't want to do that. We want to make this an ab exercise. So I want you to just support your head with your hands. Let your head rest back into your hands, and think about your abs pulling your ribs to your hips, and come back down. And let's do that 3 more times. Exhale, lift, and inhale, lower back down, and lift. So you're going to see your elbows in your side vision. That's okay. Just don't bring them all the way, yank them all the way forward. Just float them forward. And come back down. Let's do it again. Exhale up. Nice big exhale. Flexing forward. And come back down. Hey guys, before we continue the workout, I just want to tell you about John Garey TV. On John Garey TV, you'll see workouts like this without any ads or any interruptions. We have literally thousands of workouts on John Garey TV. We've got mat workouts, reformer workouts, all kinds of workouts. And we have lots of different subscriptions, so you can find the one that's perfect for you. If you check out our link above, you'll see that your subscription is 50% off your first month. I hope you'll join me over on John Garey TV, and now let's get back to work. Now from here, you rest your arms back down by your sides, and what I want you to do is just bring a leg into tabletop. So just lift it up, it'll be bent at the knee, the shin will be parallel to the floor, and then lower it back down. Let's do that with the other side. Lift it up and lower it down. Now as you lift, take your fingers and place them on your hip bones. Dig in and find your hip bones there. And what you're going to notice is that that wants to move all over the place as you're lifting your leg. And we really want to isolate the leg movement here. So you're going to exhale, bring that leg up, float it up, and then inhale, lower it back down. Exhale, float the other leg up, and you should really minimize the movement here in your hips. And you're going to do that a lot by keeping your abs nice and tight. And exhale, lift, and lower down. One more on each side. Exhale, lift up, and lower down, and last time, lift up and lower down. All right, so just roll onto your side and push yourself up. And from here, we're going to take your legs out in front of you. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can keep your knees bent, or if you can, keep them straight, and you can open them. That'll help as well. What I want you to do is sit tall here, and imagine that you're holding onto a pole, and you're gonna roll back, and then come back up. We're only going not even halfway. So I want you to think of sinking your lower back toward the mat and coming back up. Not hinging back like this, but sinking downward on an exhale, and then inhale, come back up. And let's do that again. Exhale, roll down, and come back up. Now if your legs are starting to lift, you've gone too far. You want to be able to keep the legs down and come back up. So you can initiate this by tightening the glutes, and that'll tuck the tailbone under, which is what you want, and then come back up, and let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, rolling down, inhale, back up, last time, rolling down, and come back up. Now you can leave your legs out here, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can cross them. And what I want you to do is take your arms out to the side now. We're gonna do what we did in the beginning, the spine twist when your arms are folded, but now your arms are gonna be long, and you're gonna be reaching those fingertips back and back 3 times, and then back to the center. Let's do it to the other side. Reach back, release a little bit, reach back further if you can, release again, reach back further, and come back. Now let's breathe. I want you to inhale as you reach, inhale a little more, Inhale a little more and back to center. Let's do that to the other side. Breathe in and turn a little more and a little more and back to center. One more on each side. Breathe in. Now, just think about your sit bones staying anchored to the floor. Don't avoid leaning off to one side. Try to keep your weight centered on both of those sit bones and then come back to the front. From here, we're just gonna get into the position for rolling like a ball. So what I want you to do for today is just sink down like we did when we did our half roll down, but not quite that far. Find a space off of your sit bones where you can lift your legs up and you're in this balance position. So you're in kind of a ball shape here. Then I have my hands underneath my knees. We're just gonna stay there. You're just gonna try to sink a little further away from your legs and then come back up. This is a really nice stretch for the lower back. Do that again. Exhale, sink down. You're holding onto the back of your legs and come back up. So you're working because you're in this balanced position, but you're also getting nice stretch through the lower back. 2 more times. This is gonna help get us ready for when we do the full roll. 1 more time. Just sink back, exhaling, and then come all the way back up. Put your feet down. You can keep your hands behind your legs and roll yourself back to the mat. From here, what I want you to do is bring your feet a little closer to your seat. We're gonna start with our hands behind our head again, like we did for the very first ab exercise, and we're gonna crunch up. So remember that same position that you were in, but you're gonna hold it here, but don't hold your breath. Breathe in for me, and then as you exhale, you're gonna bring one leg into tabletop. So we've done both of these things, upper body and lower body, but we haven't done them together. So lift the leg into tabletop and lower it back down. You should be able to see your elbows and just make sure your head is resting back in your hands. You're not trying to hold your head up with your neck muscles. You're actually holding your head up with your hands, but your whole torso is flexed forward using your abs. And lower back down. And let's do that again. Lift and lower and lift and lower. One more on the other side. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower, and just lower your upper body back down. Now with your feet down, we're gonna do that same coming up movement that we did in the beginning, our ab prep, but now we're gonna turn. So you're gonna come up and turn toward one side at the same time and then come back down. So you're turning as you're coming up to the other side and come back down. Let's make sure we're breathing. You're gonna exhale up and over, inhale back down. Don't hold your breath. And again, exhale up and over to the other side, inhale back down. Let's do 4 more. Exhale up and over, inhale back, and rotate to the other side. So you notice it's not a huge movement, but you should feel the side of your ab muscles working here. And we've got 1 more. Come up and over. And then lower back down. All right, from here, just flip over. We're gonna bend back the other way. The first thing we're gonna do is kind of help ourselves with our arms. So you can have your legs stretched out and just kind of touch your nose to the mat here. Your hands, forearms are resting on the mat just outside of your shoulders. And what I want you to do is think of pulling your back away from the mat, pulling your chest away from the mat, and then coming back down. Now it's easy if you just push with your arms, but we want to be more active. We want the muscles in the back working. So I want you to try to lift yourself up and your arms are just relaxed on the mat, and then come back down. Let's use an inhale here to lift up. Inhale, 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 and exhale down. So you might not be lifting that bottom rib off the mat. That's actually perfect. But you don't want the shoulders forward, you want them pulled back, and then relax down. Let's try to do that same thing with your hands stacked under your forehead. So you're gonna bring your arms with you now, so you've got some more resistance to work with, and I don't want you to go as high as we did before. Just kind of hover above the mat and come back down. Let's do that again. Breathe in and hover up and down. Now, if you wanna use an exhale to come up, you can, but I like the inhale because it helps us extend the spine. And then lower down, and 1 more time. Come up and lower back down. So you can keep your hands stacked and your forehead on your hands, and your legs are gonna be a little closer together. What I want you to do is bend one knee, try to bring your heel to your seat, and then straighten it. And exhale, do that same thing on the other side. So a couple things are working here. You're working your hamstrings as you pull your heel toward your seat. You're also getting a stretch on the front thigh muscles. So what I want you to think of, because if you're tight, what's going to happen is as you bend your knee, your bum's going to try to lift up. You're going to feel your hip bones and your pubic bone leave the mat. So as you squeeze the heel toward the seat, gently push pubic bone and hip bone down. That'll increase the stretch and give you more resistance to work with. And let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, squeeze and release. And 1 more time, bend and squeeze it toward your seat and release. Now open the legs a little bit. Bend your knees 1 more time for me, halfway this time, and flex your feet and put your heels together. From here, you're gonna push those heels together and press the hips gently, the hips and pubic bone into the mat, and then relax. And do that again. So it's glute activation here, and again, opening up the front of the hip, but we're doing it in a turned out position. So do that again. Press and lower. You're gonna feel those glutes really tighten here as you press the heels together and gently push the hips down and release. And you can do that on an exhale 1 more time. Press and release down. All right, from there, come right over onto one side. What I want you to do is try to get in a straight line from your head to your tailbone here, and you can line yourself up with the back of the mat, and then just bend that bottom leg. Your top leg is gonna hover, so it's gonna be parallel to the floor, and what I want you to do is bring it forward as far as you can, and then point your toe to reach the leg back. So we're going as far as we can without letting the pelvis move. So if you can, take your hand and place it on your hip here, and as you're reaching the leg forward and back, you're gonna inhale forward, and you're gonna exhale back. I want you to notice that the hips wanna move, and what I want you to do is use your abs as you reach back so you're not rolling your hip back, and really reach from underneath the glute to come forward so you get the stretch. And 1 more time, and back. Now, just take your leg down, and you're gonna lift and lower the leg, and lift and lower. And if you glance at your leg, you're gonna notice as you lift it, it wants to turn. What I want you to do is keep the knee and foot pointing forward, lift and lower. And again, take your hand on your hip. You shouldn't feel the hip hiking toward your rib as you lift the leg. Only lift the leg as high as you can with that hip staying in the same place. So again, we're working on the muscles on the side of the glute, and we're not getting into side flexion here. Let's do 1 more, and you're gonna hold it up there and just flex your foot like so, and then just press up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it should be a little bit burning. That's a good thing. And down. Let's do that same thing on the other side. So coming on down, lay on your side, bend your knee, take your top leg straight, reach it forward. Remember, that's your inhale, and reach it back. That's your exhale. Take your hand on your hip. Same thing here. You want to keep that hip in the same place, not let it roll forward and back. And reach, and exhale back. And reach, and exhale back. So all of these exercises turn into more challenging ones as we move forward. But this is a great place to start to learn proper movement and also to start to build the strength you need for the more advanced variations. 1 more time. Forward and exhale back. And now take it out straight. Long leg, lower and lift and lower and lift. Not quite reaching Bam Bam's head. And lift. But I'm trying. Stretch it out there and lift. 2 more. Exhale as you lift. And 1 more. Lift. Now from here, flex that foot and we're gonna press it up. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and down. Okay, so now we're gonna stretch that out a little bit. What I want you to do is sit up and take your legs out in front of you, and you're gonna open them so your feet are as wide as the mat. Again, sit up on top of something if you need to. You're gonna have your arms out to the side. We're gonna rotate to one side. This is our saw. Then you're gonna flex out over that leg, come back up, and come back to center. So turn, breathe in here. Now exhale, flex over that leg. Think of sawing off that baby toe with your pinky finger. Come back up and back to the center. Breathe in, exhale, reach out. Come up, and down. So make sure as you flex forward, your head is dropping forward too. You're not leaving your head up. You're gonna end up looking down at your thigh. Rotate and down, up and center. Now just take your hands right here in the center. You can keep your feet there or a little wider. And we're just gonna finish with our spine stretch forward. So sitting tall, breathe in, and then you're gonna exhale and flex over and come back up. And just 2 more. You're gonna exhale, flex over, and come back up. And we'll finish up with this last one and flex forward and come all the way back up. And then just turn and face the front and breathe. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And again, just take a deep breath in and exhale. And that is it. So that is your introduction to a beginner mat workout. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll check out some of our other beginner mat workouts. There's full length ones in our beginner mat series. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye. Hey everybody, thank you so much for working out with me today. I hope that you enjoyed that workout. And if you did, I hope that you will join us over on John Garey TV. John Garey TV has over 1,000 workouts that include reformer, Pilates mat, and fitness. We are your at-home Pilates and fitness studio. Right now, if you sign up, you'll get 50% off your first month. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a reformer. If you've got a mat, you can have a mat membership. If you've got some fitness gear, you can have a mat and fitness membership. Or if you've got a reformer, you can have an all-access membership. We've got you covered. So I hope you'll join us over on johngarytv.com today.